Hey guys, and welcome to the live stream. This is our 13th live stream. So before I move on with the model kit, just want to share with you some updates over at Patreon. So it's coming to the end of June already, and sorry, it's coming to the end of May. And for those who are actually supporting me during this period of time, the rewards for June, once the pledge is being proceeded over, it will be basically the last tutorial for the Babatos Loopers Rex. I actually combine both the lake section and the Nightingale project. I actually put it together and be released together. So you'll be receiving it through the email, alright? And for the Nightingale project, it will be a 16-page tutorial, or actually just a introduction of how the design was being created, how it comes along and stuff like that, and at the same time some of the earlier stages of the work in progress. Okay, and then on the 30th of June, I'll be sharing with you guys about the sprue party that I have shown earlier as well. So that content, the topic we'll be talking about is how the sprue party is being created, how do you use it, when do you use it, what are the pros and cons of using it, should you be using it like for every single thing, or when is the right time to actually use it. Also, for the supporters over at Patreon, you guys can actually post your WIP or any questions you want over at the community page. Okay, and then I will give you guys the feedback or comments. Also, for the supporters over at the playground tier 1, there's a Discord for you guys, so please go over there to join the channel and have a chit chat with us. So that's about it for the Patreon. Okay, next I'll be sharing with you guys the Nightingale itself. Okay, so I've done quite a bit of stuff, not really a lot, just very few things here over yesterday, past 2 days and stuff. So besides adding back some of the details, I actually remove away some details here. After paying attention, looking at both sides, the circle that I actually created earlier on isn't very accurate. So the alignment is not it's not correct, it's off. So I actually went to apply the super glue and fill it up. I can still feel a little bit of dent, so I'll be filling up again at the end of tonight, and then fixing it up by tomorrow. But I'd like to share with you guys is over here. Okay, so one of the things that I've done here is that I went to drill a small little hole, and then I use some of these tools for detailing. Okay, so to actually widen the gap, at the same time it will give you the cone, the concave looking one, then followed by adding some details, just one stroke over, and of course using the stencil, the template, to draw out some panel lines as well. Okay, and I believe you have seen this before already. Okay, so I added the circle here. Okay, yes then. So I'll be working on this piece later on, just share with you some of the details that I'll be working over there later. Okay, so I've drawn out some of the design that I'll be working on tonight as well. Let's see what else that I covered. Okay, I wanted to do some engraving here along this line as well, so that later when I paint, I can do some metallic colors, one very subtle metallic colors over there, some very subtle detailing over here as well, which I try to do either today, if not tomorrow. Okay, So let's move on to the piece that I want to work on first, which is this. Okay, so hey Saleh, good evening. Okay, so what I want to do here, where is my tweezer? Okay, so hopefully the screen is clear enough. Okay, so what I have here is basically a small little squarish jewelry part. It's actually made out of plastic, but it's quite reflective and stuff. So this is how it looks like in the package. Okay, you can actually find it in Daiso over at the ladies section, where you have all the nail polish, you know, all the cosmetic and stuff over there. There's quite a lot of good stuff that you can use for your gunpla as well. So what I intend to do here is basically to carve out a squarish gap and then just slot it inside. You know, so after painting it, you know, what I will do is just dab some glue in and put this detail part in, and that's it. Okay, so the size of this square, if I'm not wrong, is about 2 mm. Is it 2 mm? Let me just measure. It's around there. It's about 2 mm or 2.5. So earlier on, I have actually used a stencil to try it out, and the stencil is slightly bigger, but it's just nice for the parts to sit in. I actually did this for Cardinia before, but I forgot that I actually have a stencil and I didn't use a stencil for that. So what I did was basically using a BMC chisel to carve out the square and then slot the detail part in. So this time around, since I have the stencil, might as well just try it and see whether it is better or not. Okay, so I have already draw out or mark out where the square is supposed to be. So all I need to do now is to stick the stencil over it. Okay, so I have with me my 2 mm chisel. Okay, so what I just did here was that making use of the chisel, I actually do some marking along the edges. I use some force to apply it and then push it down so that there is a marking around it. And then next what I will do is I will actually turn this part around so that if you can see, the chisel, the top part is flat, the bottom part is slanted, so I'll be using that to actually push out the plastic part. Okay, the challenge here that I face is because this BMC chisel is slightly smaller than the stencil, so to get that perfect square will be challenging because I actually need to scribe 2 times, or chisel 2 times, one on the left, then on the right, another one more time to have the perfect square. So this is what I'm doing now is what I just shared with you guys, the scribing part. After I have chiseled out the plastic, I need to do some cleanup inside. Okay, I'm just checking to see if my chisel have any damage because it is after all, rubbing against the metal stencil. I don't want the kind of situation when if it's being damaged. Almost done. Just clean up. Okay, that's it. Okay, I make use of the pencil to help dig out whatever dirt is inside, any leftover plastic. Okay, let's take out the tape. I hope the alignment is accurate. Okay. Okay, now to look for the small little part that I have no idea where I place it. Where did it go? I always have this problem. Why not use the needle light tool to draw out with stencil first, then take out the stencil and chisel out, reduce damage to the tool? That is one way, but because how do I explain? Okay, the stencil is there to block your tool, your chisel from going out of that line. So you can draw out the marking first, you can take it out and then you can do your chiseling, but the tendency of your chisel to go out from that boundary is higher. So with your stencil there, once it hit the stencil, that's it, you will stop there, you will not go over it. And from my own experience, I know that I will most probably go over the line, so yeah, that's why I keep the stencil there. Okay, the stencil is, sorry, the gap is a little bit too small, so I need to clean up a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, quite true. This thing doesn't want to sit in, so I will need to take a bigger chisel. I'm wondering if I have a 2.5. Okay, so I have a 2.5 network chisel here. Okay, so what I'm doing here basically is very similar to what I'm doing with my cardinia. I basically use a chisel to mark out the square, and then just push up. Yeah, I saw it. Okay, this time around it fits nicely. So I'm just going to sand down the edges. Okay, so this is roughly how it looks like. Okay. Wow, finished before him. No lah, I think I'll let him post first. Then maybe 1 year later that I post my one. Or maybe after he posts already, I delete away my post. Honestly speaking, I think the stencil doesn't work because the BMC chisel is 2.5, but somehow looks like it is still bigger than the sensor itself. So I will most probably do like what Esther mentioned earlier on. I'll just carve out the line as a guide, and then after that I will use the chisel to help me do out the detail. Okay, if I continue to use the if I continue to use the metalwork chisel, I think it will actually damage the chisel itself. So I will not be using the stencil now. Actually, I prefer to use the BMC chisel. Yeah, actually you can try it out just for the experience and see what's the difference. See which one works well for you. There are some things that chisel, the stencil already have, the shapes and stuff. It will help you with efficiency. Okay, so back to the topic of using the BMC chisel. I find that using a BMC chisel it's easier to remove the plastic part. Actually, when it comes to chiseling, when I use the metalwork chisel, I still feel a little bit of restriction. It's not as smooth as compared to BMC. But then again, that's my personal review. Okay, so you can see how easy it is for me to use the chisel to just remove the parts. So because the one that I'm using is actually 2 mm, now I need to use the 2.5 to actually widen up the gap. Okay, one thing that I don't really like to use about this chisel is that when I go across the parts, it will actually pull out any plastic from the edges, you know. So I can start to see that the edges are no longer perfect because of the last detail that I was doing, the last thing that I was doing. So I need to use my BMT chisel now to help me with fixing the problem. Also, you also have a few network chisels. I think I prefer because there are two sets, set A and set B. Set A is the one that is used for scribing the line mostly. Set B is the one where you really use for digging out details and stuff. So I really prefer set A compared to set B. Or maybe because the work that I'm working on here is a bit too much, you know, for it. But I like to use the 3.0. That chisel from network, I think it served me very well for many stuff. Okay, so just to share, this is my network 3.0. So I've been using this to basically remove any plastic from the, you know, after using a sonic cutter, there might be some leftover plastic, you know, if I'm not able to cut it off or sand it off. This is where I use the network chisel to help me remove any of those spare plastic. Okay, so I need to keep this. Oh yeah, test speed this part. Okay, so just nice. Okay, just nice. Oh wait, it's not just nice. Slightly too small. Here. Oh, yeah. So I think we all have more or less the um, same idea how to use the tools. Okay, so this is just nice. Okay, it's not coming up. Okay. Send. Okay, so that's about it for this part. I don't think I'll be adding any more detail. I'm actually very tempted to add one small little chisel here. Is you know how those construction site, those crane and stuff, they have a door, and door handles usually is one small little rectangular shape or oval shape, those black color handles, and then you have another minor detail for you to pull out the handle. So I'm actually thinking of doing something like that, but then again, I don't wish to add too many details to the point that it's over detail. So I was just going to leave it for now and come back to that decision again at a later time. So now these both sides are done already. What are we doing next is let me see. Okay, I'll be working on this section here. Okay, I'm trying to redraw some panel line because I want to take this opportunity to share with you how I do this as well. So I want to see if I can actually put that there. It might not really look good. Okay, you know what? I'll be doing this on some other areas that I'll share with you all, or maybe in another video. But I'm going straight to do some detailing over here first. Okay, so now that I have drawn out the panel line, what I want to do next is to measure and see if my guiding tape is able to support that line that I draw. Okay, so this top part will be 3 mm. Okay, this will be 6 mm. This section is another 6 mm. So okay, I think I know what I can do here. Okay, so for me, my habit or my approach of doing a panel line design is usually around the edges, creating a border. I think that is one of the easiest design in terms of panel line, because you just go around the border. And I like to make use of the corners, from one corner, touch another corner and stuff. And I like to try to play around with rules of thirds. If you're into photography and stuff like that, composition, layout, you will roughly know what is the rule of thirds. So I like to apply the kind of concept as well, not just into the panel line, but also into the keep bashing or adding on a panel, which actually you can see very clearly that this is one hole and this is about half or 1/3 of it, and this is another 1/3 of this piece. So yeah. Anyone here have accident or experience of them breaking their BMC or damaging their BMC chisel before? Now for me, I have one very careless accident. My first three pairs of my first three sets of BMC chisel, there's only one handle. I only have one of these handle, and so unfortunately, one day I was holding the chisel without the handle, and it slipped through. It was something like that. So it slipped through my hand, and it just dropped down onto the ground, and that's it. Yeah. The edges of it got chipped off, and it's never the same anymore. So it's quite a sad experience. So every time I use my chisel, especially like 0.125 or 0.075, they are all very delicate, so I try to be very gentle with them. Scribing a spoon, wow. Scribing a spoon, so was that like your first few scribe? Have you tried scribing before using the BNC? Before before I was into scribing, just to share with you all a bit of a story as well. The first few years, I was just working with hobby made scribing tool, and I thought it's like, oh, perfect. I'm just going to use this scribing tool to do all the scribing work, for forever and stuff like that. BMC chisel, never heard of it before. And my first time when I heard of this chisel, I don't even remember the name, that it's called BMC or Sujibori. The experience came in from a hobby art gallery. It was an evening time. I went over. It was a very long time ago, and the shopkeeper at the time, Eric, he was sharing about chiseling and stuff. So he actually took out his whole set of collection, and that was the first time I saw the chisel, and I was like, oh, it's so thin. At the same time, it was saying that it's so expensive. I was thinking, wow, who will buy this kind of chisel? It's so expensive. It's out of my league, out of my wallet as well. And I didn't appreciate, or I didn't know how good was it as well. It's like, wow, it's just like a very atas or very expensive tool. And back then I was still using this only. So as I progress, I start to see what this BMC chisel can do, and then I thought, I want to give it a try. So I only bought about like 3 chisel. Like I mentioned earlier on, is the 0.075, 0.125, and 1.2 if I'm not wrong. And the 1.2 was the one that I dropped. So yeah. Round surface, and then to test in liner, I haven't used BMC for the spoon one. I'm actually quite worried that I will break the chisel. So whenever I heard that my friend is going over to Japan, or I myself, if I'm going over, I will ask them to help me purchase another 0.125 or 0.075 just in case, because these are the chisel that I use quite common. And the way I treat this chisel, the way I hold them is also very different from some other tools. I can be quite rough with some other tools like the hobby knife, but not these BNC chisels. Also, I realized the way you hold the chisel, the way you scribe it as well, is quite important. Uh, Try not to use too much strength to push, especially the thin one. Try not to push it, but instead pull it gently, because the blade is quite fragile, quite thin. It's not really meant for chiseling, but it's more for just scribing. The angle of holding it is very crucial as well. Try to do it like a 90-degree or perpendicular to your surface. It's not that you can't do an angle of 45-degree, it's just that when you are doing 90-degree, your pressure that you apply, you can actually see that your blade is it bending, because sometimes when you pressure it too much, you can actually see that the blade is bent. So once you realize that, it's actually good to relax and not use too much force. I think another reason why I purchased the BMC was because of one particular kit that I saw on a display. In the past, if you were to go to Hobby Art Gallery in Singapore, they have this display, the O, a high grade the O, is done by Sam, the shopkeeper, the shop owner itself. And when I was looking at it, it's just a very small kit. Among all the big kit, there's a very small one over there. It's a high grade kit. But then if you just pay attention to the scribing line, you'll actually be very amazed by the detail, how clean, and when we do our scribing, we can always see some of the lines being imperfect. At the time when I was looking at it, like, wow, that line is like totally out of my league as well. So I thought maybe it's part of the tools. So I went to purchase it, because you can really tell the difference in terms of the line that you draw using a hobby-made scriber and a BMC. Don't get me wrong that the scriber that we use is not good or whatever. It's just that the outcome of it, the look of it is different. One of them is the sharp, rounded kind of scribe. The other one is more of a sharp, squarish kind. And like I earlier mentioned in some of the older video, BMC, the more you scribe, the deeper you go. But those needle kind of chisel, the more you scribe, the deeper you go, but your panel line will also become wider and wider and wider. So you really need to have a very good control of those needle type of chisel. Yeah, I think um, it's important to go. I mean, start off with light stroke, very gentle stroke, and this method applies for cutting pla plate, cutting paper as well. Later I can share with you what I mean by that. You don't want to use force right at the beginning, because not only are you damaging the, especially for this case, the chisel, you are also risking uh, damaging yourself. You might actually cut yourself by accident, especially if you are cutting pla plate with a hobby knife or cutting a paper with a pen knife and stuff like that. You just want to do very light strokes. Just be patient, 3-4 strokes, and that's it. You will have a very clean and very nice cut. Okay, so this part is done. Be transferring the guiding tape over to the other side, and I was chiseling from I was scribing from one side here, so I'll be using the other side to do the chiseling or scribing. Okay, another thing to share about guiding tape or even your Dymo tape is that try not to reuse the same side for scribing. Try to switch between the two sides, because sometimes you will actually damage your guiding tape, so it's no longer straight. And if you were to continue using that side, the same side, it will actually guide you to a crooked line instead of a one straight line. And for me, I like to use my tweezer to support. I mean, first of all, my fingers have dust, so it will actually shorten the life of your guiding tape. So using a tweezer is very helpful here. Okay, so I'm trying to see if I can still reuse this. Otherwise, I think better not, because it's no longer sticking well at all. My fingers as well, so just to play safe. Anyway, I bought a few row of these, so it's alright. Yeah, actually, I know what you mean as well, Jonathan, about scribing deeper. For me, I want to scribe deeper is because I'm worried that when I sand, that's it, the detail is gone. So I need to scribe slightly deeper, just to ensure that the details does not go away after sanding. But for what you are referring to, what I can suggest is that after you scribe, and after you send, just use your pencil and go over the panel line. So by using a pencil, what you do is you of course you are marking out the panel line, but at the same time you're actually digging out the dirt inside. So it's kind of like a win-win, killing two birds in one stone. No, I still have this kind of problem as well, doing scribing too deep, especially when it comes to chiseling. Those small details tend to go too deep. But the lucky side is that they are usually being covered up with panel line, those enamel paint and stuff. So the depth doesn't really affect too much. Okay. I have no idea how your engine is going to look like. I'm trying to imagine it, I'm thinking of the very futuristic reference that you share with me. The first one on the corner left. I still like that one there. Okay, so after scribing, this is what I will do. Okay, I should just give it a few light sand first. My first model, my first master grade, I remember I make a lot of mistake as well. Doing all the scribing, and then I never sand those edges down. Adding the plat plate, never sand the edges down as well. And overall, of course, I'm happy with that result, as in how it looks, But after getting the feedback, then I realized, oh my god, I've done so many mistakes, And then from there, I just learned, which is kind of fun. Okay, so this is what I mean by using a pencil to get back those details. Alternatively, you can also use a Gundam marker, but for me, I prefer the pencil because you can easily erase it and stuff. One thing you want to take note is that if you are painting white, then it might be a little bit tougher for you to wash off this panel line. Maybe your primer will need to be 2 to 3 coats, slightly more than your 1 coat. Okay, is it clearer now? I'm so tempted to add more detail, but I'll just leave it. Don't overdo the details. Okay, let's see. I really feel like just drawing for fun. Okay. Okay, I think I'm almost done with. Okay, I still have. I don't know if I still want to add any more things here. Maybe just one more. I still have some idea around here which I haven't conclude or decide what to do with it yet. I know I want to add the details here, but I want to do it last. Okay, so maybe what I can do here is this circle. I already have one line here. I don't want another circle there. Okay, I'll try that. Okay, right now I'm just thinking whether I should apply this over here, or should I stick to just a simple dot, just a simple chisel here. I like the circle, so maybe I'll go with that. But I can also do one more detail, which is using this and then I'll put it here as well. Reason for doing this is because the side skirt actually have very similar design, and the original back skirt of Nightingale, there's actually one of these right over the center. So I can't recall if the sides have this as well. I can't really remember it, but so I was thinking if I were to put it, it will keep to the design as well. Wonder if it's too distracting. So usually my weekend is just like that, you know. I will just finish one part and then I will just hang there and think, what should I do? If I do this, what's going to happen next? Then draw another line and keep talking to myself and stuff. Draw another line here. How does it go? Okay, you know what? I'm just going straight to do that detail there. That will most probably be the last thing for today. Okay, so what I'm doing here is something very lazy. I'm just going to use my observation to draw out those guiding lines for my drill to go in to actually drill it out. The risk of doing this is that it will not be accurate. Your left and right will not be symmetrical. Okay, let me see if that's where I want the line to be as well. This is here. Okay, let's try this. Okay, wish me luck. If I do it wrong, I'll just super glue it. I'm going to change my drill bit. The site didn't have it. Okay, thanks. Take a picture. Do the other side. So usually for my drilling process, I usually do a count of 10. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Try to apply the same amount of pressure as well. Don't use too much force. If not, you know, the depth of it will not be symmetrical as well. and then after the 10 I will just do an anti-clockwise, pull it out. So why I want to do an anti-clockwise is because when we are drilling, right, you see all those plastic that is coming out, it's not totally cut yet. That's why you always see this, like those Maggie Mee, those curves, they are so long and stuff. That's because you haven't cut it off. So by doing an anti-clockwise, you actually cut off the plastic. Now if not, if you were to pull out your drill bit, what you see is that those things are stuck inside. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'll make use of this tool. I purchased this during my first 2 years of the hobby. I got it from Taobao, an online web store. So they actually come in 2 sizes. I think I got the smaller one. Yeah, so this is how it looks. Okay, so what it does is that it will just widen up the gap for you. I need to brush off the dirt first. Okay. Okay, I'll be sharing with you all 2 methods for this particular detail here. One is basically I use the drill to widen up the gap, then followed by creating that dash. The second method is creating the dash first, then use the drill bit to drill it out. So there's no right or wrong, it's just your preference, and see which one gives you a better result. Okay, this is taking more time than before actually. Okay. I think partially why take longer than before is because the drill bit that I use is slightly smaller, maybe. Okay, but nonetheless, just keep drilling it, and that's it. I will get the result. Yeah, you know, because there's two sizes, so when I first started off, I only bought one of it, and when I wanted to buy the second one, it was too late. I think it was sold out or discontinued already. So at least I'm quite fortunate to get it. Another tool is actually this. I seldom use this right now, but what this does is that it actually help you sharpen the rod. You know, so this is a smaller one. Sorry, this is a bigger one. Let's see if I can get a right size. Okay, so what you see here, this is straight, right? The edges here are straight. So you actually use this to chamfer the edges. Then, ta-da! But I seldom use this. Now what I do in the end is just do this sanding and stuff. Okay, let's continue. Okay, I need to take a picture of this as well. Okay, let's continue. So I'm using the 2.0 again to gently do some marking. Okay, and remove part of the plastic out. Okay, then next thing I will do is to use my 0.3 because the guideline is already there. So now I'm just using my 0.3 to scrap out the detail. Okay, so not too sure if you can see it. Okay, so for the other part here, I mentioned earlier on, I want to share with you the two methods. The first method, basically you just saw it. I drew the hole. I used this to make the hole slightly wider, and then use the BMC chisel to draw out the line. So in this situation, I'll be doing it differently. I'll be drawing the line first, followed by drilling the hole. So previously, I was using a 2mm, sorry, 2mm chisel to come out the details, dig out the details. This time around, I'll be using a 3mm chisel instead. now that I have done the chiseling, time to do the hole. Okay, so now to talk about the pros and cons about these two different methods. Ultimately, it's still your preference. So for me, the disadvantage of doing the drilling first followed by your chiseling is that the chisel, that line that you draw, might not be accurate. You know, if I'm using this as a guide, this line as a guide, I'm actually, you know, I have that as a guide to help me. So that is to how do I say, okay. And okay, one of the thing is when I say about accuracy is that, for example, this is a circle, right, and this is center of the circle, so I need to aim directly at the center to draw out the line. At the same time, I need some guide at the side to know whether is it parallel or not. And with a bigger circle outside, I might not be able to find out the center circle easily. Okay, but the positive side, the advantage is that it's faster this way, because you already have this thing here. You just need to, you know, do the chiseling. On the other hand, here, because you already have the center, all you need to do is just scribe along that drill bit, you know, and that's it. So to me, this one is definitely easier as compared to this. And now looking at it, actually, the length looks like this is slightly longer than this one as well. So I'll need to correct it just by a bit. Yeah, that will be the last thing for me to do before I end the video for today. Okay. Okay, so I come to the end of the video for today already. If you have any questions, feel free to just let me know over at the comment section, or just message me over on Facebook, and I'll try my best to answer you as much as possible. There might be a live feed tomorrow, live stream tomorrow, or if not, you will most probably see it on maybe Saturday evening or Sunday evening. So thank you so much for again staying with me up till this time. Yeah, so I'll see you in the next live feed. Bye.